Got it from there.
What's going on, everybody? Jay Monopoly here, serial entrepreneur, kingmaker. Catch me on the FYI Fly podcast.
Come on, Mr. One Take. Yes, sir. He said that's all we need. Yeah, let's get into it. What's up, my FYI Fly folks out there? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing all right. Welcome to the FYI Fly podcast. My name is Hassan Thomas, aka the kid that did and the man that can, baby. And today we're gonna be chopping up with entrepreneur, speaker, marine, and overall playmaker and kingmaker, Mr. Jessie Moreira, Mr. Jessie Moreira, aka Mr. J Monopoly. How are you, brother? How are you?
I am blessed, my brother. I am blessed. Happy to be on, bro. Just, this is a long time coming. People don't even know we've been trying to plan this for like 6 months. No exaggeration.
Facts, man. We originally met at the podcast, David Shan's podcast conference in Miami. What was that, last summer? And man, we just instantly, what they say, real recognize real, man. And we instantly linked up. All your boys was cool, y'all was cool, so we instantly had to, hit it off, man. But I'm just happy to have you here because here at FYI Fly, brother, what we like to do, we like to skip the fluff and get right into the good stuff. How that sound, brother?
I love it.
Say less. So the first thing I really want to know, bro, were you always good with money, or was there like a turning point in your life where you were like, okay, now it's time to get right?
What you mean good with money? Good with getting money or good with keeping money? Because that's two different things.
That's true. Let's start with, because you got to get the money first, and then you got to be good at managing. So let's start with that part first.
Nah, so I didn't really come from money, bro. I come from a good household, bro. I got great parents, right? But I was bad, bro. I was a bad kid, bro. I was outside wilding. My parents actually sent me to live in Ecuador when I was 14. They sent me to live in a third world country to get my act together, and it made me worse, bro. I learned how to hustle and living in Ecuador. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what put the battery in my back. I learned how to. Whether it was legal or not is a different story, but that's what taught me how to actually, that I can actually sell stuff, be a salesman.
To acquire that capital, yeah.
Yeah. I was 14, 15 years old, and I made a quick, like $1,500, bro, in like a week or two. Well, that's good money, especially if we're talking about this is 2011. It's 2011. I'm 14 years old, and I just made like $1,500 in a week. I was like, oh yeah. So I already had that level of standards for myself after that, because once you hit something, you always want to keep hitting that again. So yeah, that's what really put the dog in me, living in a third world country. Okay. And having to save up enough money to get back to America, bro.
It was coming to America like Eddie Murphy. Mm-hmm. So you said you eventually from there, then you got in. Your first big play was the real estate play. So how did you get into that? Did you have like any mentor to help you? Did you just go in and learn from your experiences? Talk to us about that first real estate play.
I gotta run that story. I gotta tell you where that whole real estate thing started, bro. Everybody thinks I was passionate about it. I blew up in real estate really fast, bro. And I'll send you the HUDs. I'll send you all the documentation to prove it, because I'm more documentation over conversation, bro. I show receipts, right?
Yes, sir.
I end up having it's crazy because I was in the military, right? Mm-hmm. So I ended up going on a deployment. And
what age is this?
I was 21.
Okay, so this is right before the military. I mean, the real estate play. Gotcha.
Yeah, right before. This is what got me into the real estate play. So I wasn't thinking about real estate, bro. All I kept on thinking about was, I gotta make money. I don't know how, but I'm gonna do it. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do it. So I was on the boat. The way the ship works is, you don't got no contact with the outside world for a month straight, right? Like no cell phone, no nothing. You can't talk to nobody, bro.
Yeah. And
then you wake up every day in the middle of nowhere, and then one day you just get to a country and they're like, yo, go have fun, right? So after a month at sea, I'm there, I'm going, and I'm from New York, bro. So I'm a huge Jay-Z fan. So everybody's like, yo, I bet Jay-Z gonna drop an album. When we get a bunch of guys together and nothing to do, y'all talk about the most random stuff. Yo, what if Jay-Z drops an album? What if this? Yo,
sports, music, all that.
Everything. So after a month, I land in Australia, Sydney, Australia. The day that I get to Australia, Jay-Z drops an album.
Okay.
Crazy stuff. So I'm like, oh, that's crazy. He dropped 444. This was 2017.
I had a feeling it was that one too. Yep.
So at the time I was with this chick, she was one of them hippie joints. They're like 444. That means that She was like, yo. She tells me, yo, that means that you're heading towards the right path. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Whatever. So I'm walking around in Australia, and I see this club that says 444. It's the same as the cover.
Come on, man.
I'm like, I got all the pictures for this too, bro. I'm like, damn, what the hell? So I go in there confused now. I'm a little drunk too, right? So I go in there like, yo, what is this place? Y'all know Jay-Z dropped the album last night?
Yeah.
They go, yo, he was actually here last night when he dropped it. So now I'm like,
just missed, bro.
Bro, I'm like, what? Like that's that don't even make sense. I'm like, you know what? I know I need to get back on the ship in 3 days. I don't want to be bored this time. So I Googled books that Jay-Z read. If I want to be like Jay, I got to think like Jay, right?
For sure.
I start reading this book. So at this point, I'm back on the ship, and I start reading this book called The Celestine Prophecy. It says nothing in your life is a coincidence. The more you follow those coincidences, the more it pushes you towards your life purpose.
Okay.
Which I always thought that was a deep concept. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. So I finished that book. The next book I read was a real estate book. Because that's the only book that was available. Somebody else had a real estate book. I read it. I didn't understand nothing. It all went over my head. But I got one thing from it. It said that the majority of millionaires own real estate.
Yeah, about 90-some% for sure.
Yeah. So then I was like, yo, you know what? That's all I had in my head. I said, okay, I got to figure out a way to get into real estate. A few days later, I get to Brisbane. We get off the ship again. I didn't tell anybody I got off the ship. I hadn't posted anything, nothing. My partner, who's my partner to this day, he calls me. First words to come out of his mouth, bro. Swear to God. He goes, yo, bro, we got to get started in real estate. I was like, yo.
So God had him on the same way, too.
I was like, yo. By the time I came back to America on Thanksgiving, so that's the end of November. By December 13th, I already bought my first property, which is a 5-bedroom house in Oceanside, California. And we bought it. He learned how to negotiate it so good that we ended up buying it with $50,000 equity in it.
And when you say he, you talking about your friend or the mentor that was teaching y'all?
No, my partner learned from the mentor, and then we ended up getting this house together. And with that house, we had enough equity that a month later, they plugged us in with a lender who would refinance your house even if it wasn't aged. And with that money, in January, we got our first fix and flip in Detroit. So we're talking about 2 months back of being in America, I got 2 houses. Boom,
yeah.
Right to it. That's why 2018, I made my first $500,000 at 22 years old.
Bro, so I think that's a testament right there to the power of having a mentor. And that's really one of the biggest things, bro, that I actually admire about you is you could be cocky, you could be arrogant, but I can tell that you're a lifelong learner. So kind of talk to our audience about, why that mentorship, why being a lifelong learner is kind of key to being successful, bro.
Man, because as humans, bro, we're some of the most interesting creatures out here, bro. We are the most interesting, but not one of the most. We are the most interesting creature out here, bro. Because what we're able to do, the other species aren't able to do, is we can learn from others' mistakes. We don't have to go through the same thing.
Facts.
Right? So our kids, when we have kids, our kids don't have to start from zero all over again. They get to start from a different place, right? When a lion have cubs, bro, the cub got to go through the same thing over and over for the rest for thousands of years, right?
Yeah.
we don't got to do that. We evolve. So I think once you realize that you can learn from other people, you realize that you don't got to make these dummy mistakes.
Nah, that's facts. I always say, bro, you can literally learn what to do and what not to do from watching people, bro. Literally.
Yeah, bro. That's what I tell people all the time, bro. And that's why for me, if somebody knows something that I don't know, all right, like how much to learn? Because I understand that there's only 2 ways to make money. Either through your mistakes or through the mistakes of other. I mean, you either pay with your time or you pay with your money.
That's facts. And if you ain't got that, if you don't have that money, then you're going to have to pay with your time. You're going to have to put in the extra resources. But if you have that money to pay for a mentor, to pay for a course, pay for a conference, then you could kind of get there faster. And that's what I also wanted to talk to you about, bro, is that you got one of the biggest conferences that you started, that I saw that you started from 200 people, in a top room somewhere to grow into over, 20,000 people in one room, brother? So kind of talk to us about that conference, the Better Way Conference. How did you start it? What steps did you take to grow it, man? Give us the game on that, bro.
Let's go back to 2019, right? I used to throw events all the time. I used to live in California, and at this time I was primarily in the real estate industry. And I used to throw these real estate events for free, bro. I used to have free events all the time, and I would only have like 20, 30 people show up. And then one day, I remember I was out in Japan. On some business, and I was thinking about something. I was like, yo, why don't I do? I was getting ready to move out of California and go to New York.
Okay.
So I said, yo, why don't I do a networking event in New York, a real estate networking event in New York? I said, you know what? I'm not doing this one for free. I'm gonna charge people.
Okay.
So that's what I did. I did an event. I told people the ticket was, I believe I charged $50, right? But just by charging people, instead of 20 people showing up, my brother, I ended up having those, I think 180 to 200 people show up.
Wow.
And then I was
they got
like,
that skin in the game now.
Yeah, because now they got skin in the game, which taught me a lesson. You got to put a value. You got to put a value on your stuff. If you don't put a value on it, ain't nobody else gonna put a value on it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I was like, all right, cool, boom. After that, that first event was January 2020. We all know what happened 2 months after, right? COVID.
Yeah, in March, what's up?
Boom. So it killed the momentum for my next event. I had another event planned in April that was already looking like it was gonna double, even triple the last one. And then, it just COVID was like, nah. So I was like, oh man, it killed me, bro. It killed me because I already had the plans, bro. I already had the event. I had the momentum from the first one, I was going, and then boom, dead in my tracks. So I had to sit down I had to sit on the sidelines for a little bit, and in that time, I ended up dropping an online course.
Okay.
It was a wholesaling course. It doesn't exist anymore. I don't sell it anymore because I don't wholesale anymore. So I don't believe in capping.
Gotcha.
So through that course, there was a lot of people that became successful through that course. So once I moved to Florida, I was like, this was around 2021. This was mid 2021. Now I'm in Florida. I've been running this course for about 6 months. And I'm like, nah, I need to meet everybody who's been supporting me. That's how I said it. Yeah. It's cool when people supporting me online. If people support me online, showing me love online. Nah, we gotta link up in person. It's
always best in person, bro. That energy's always better.
100%, especially for the people who've been supporting me. Like, I want to see who's been supporting me,
For sure.
So I decided to have an event, in Orlando. And we end up having, mind you, in 2021, we technically still in a pandemic. The restrictions still wasn't lifted.
Sure.
Well, we in Florida, so
I was about to say, some of those states, Georgia, Florida, Texas, we was lit.
Yeah. We didn't care as much, so that's why I had this event. And we ended up having 650 people show up, my brother. 650 people show up. And
is this Better Way 1 or
this is Better Way 1.
Okay.
This is Better Way 1. And then from there, man, I realized like getting the feedback after the first one was only a 1-day event, and it was just so much positivity. I got so much positive feedback. I had people telling me, like, I had so much positive feedback that I knew that I had something special going on, man. Yeah. And the way I was able to continue growing those events and that brand is by really investing into my community. You know what I'm saying? Like, really understanding that I had a community and I had to make my community go hard for the community. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Just like people rep their cities, I needed people to rep Better Way. If they was at any other conference, I needed them to be like, yo, this is cool, but at Better Way, it is how Jay treat us.
You would be at Chick-fil-A at conferences.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Through them authentic relationships, through networking, through providing value, bro. And I think one of the many things that we both agree on is that you have to provide value. Cause I even 100%. saw a post you said, and you was like, money, like you don't always need money to make money. And I feel that 100%, because to me, if you have time and value, you can go get some money. But brother, I want to know, because you did mention you mentioned the military, and it sounds like that time period really had a transformation on your life as well. So what would you say is the biggest lesson that you've learned and taken with you, that you learned from the military?
I would say number one is the concept of mission accomplishment, right? 'Cause I wasn't just in the military, bro. I was in the Marines, bro. I was,
Okay.
you know, I'm a
Okay,
Marine.
that's a different level. Yes, sir.
You know, it's just a different mindset, right? Because like even when someone joins the army, they say, you know, I'm in the army. Somebody joins the Air Force, they go, I'm in the Air Force. Someone joins the Navy, they say, I'm in the Navy. Someone joins the Marine, they say, I'm a Marine.
I am a Marine, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was that was one of the first concepts. The concept of getting people to believe in something bigger than themselves. That was the first thing, because I realized how powerful that is. Everybody wants to be part of something bigger than themselves.
Facts.
No way around that. That's number one.
That's a
Number
huge
two,
lesson. That's a
100%.
huge lesson. Like Steve Jobs, he says that about Apple. You know, getting people to believe in, not Steve Jobs, but getting the people to believe in something that's bigger than them. And like you said, bro, people want to be a part of something. They want to feel involved in something. And that's why, like, when I come out with my book covers or my podcast covers, I ask my audience. I ask people on social media, getting their input, and now they're literally involved within, you know, what we're producing. So, full agreeing on that one for real.
That's the first. And the second thing is just the concept of mission accomplishment, you know? I used to work the night shift in the military. I was a helicopter technician.
Okay.
So we would work on aircraft parts, and my shift started at 2 p.m. and it was supposed to end at 2 a.m. I say supposed to end, because sometimes if an important part came in, like let's say it was 150, I'm supposed to check out in 10 minutes, and an important piece of aircraft equipment comes in that we need this fixed. We need this fixed ASAP. I was like, oh well, like I literally have no choice. Like this has to get accomplished because this is what's needed for us to continue to work. Yeah. So if it took me 2-3 hours, then I was there for another 2-3 hours. Unfortunately, you know, and just that concept of, like Kobe would say, job not finished. So that concept, and the leadership, and then the leadership. I got to see good leaders. I got to see bad leaders. And I understood which ones I liked, which ones I took to, which ones I didn't. And you know,
what was the difference,
take that from
bro?
people. There's difference between a boss and a leader. A boss tells you how to do it, or a leader shows you how to do it. Is doing it with you. And you know, a leader is a boss is do as I say, not as I do. A leader is, you know, do as I do because I'm doing it the right way. So,
facts. Okay, I like how you broke that down. And I got one more question for you. We can't have you on FY Fly and not ask you our famous final question. I'm gonna say 2 quotes, and I need you to let me know which one is more accurate in your opinion. All right?
Let's do it.
Alright, so the first one is, and you're gonna feel this one being from New York, more money, more problems, like Biggie. Shout him out. And the second one is, money can't buy happiness. Which one is more accurate? Which one do you agree with most?
More money, more problems, bro. Because the bigger the paycheck, the bigger the problem, right? Like we still have problems. Okay. We still have problems, bro, but it's just different things. Like, it's crazy. I just moved back. I'll give you an example, bro. I just moved back to Miami.
Yeah.
Right? And I had to move into my new spot. At the same time, I had my brother moving into his new spot, right? For me to move into my new spot, I had to pay $16,000. For him to move into his new spot, he had to pay like 3-4 bands, right? And it's funny, we were talking. He's like, "Yo, bro, we got the same problems. Yours is just on a bigger scale."
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, the dollar amount behind the problem changes, but we still have the same problem behind that most people have, bro.
More money, different problems. Not necessarily more, but different.
like let's say now, for example, you still have bad months, but your bad month now probably would have been a great month 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that the whole mindset thing, you know. The problem, I said more problems because it's, I say I agree with that one more. I'm not saying it's 100% accurate. But the money can't buy happiness, I don't really agree with that one, bro, because I think money I don't think money could buy happiness. I don't think money could buy happiness, but I think money could buy peace, and that's pretty fucking close.
Okay. Okay.
Pretty close to happy. I don't know about you, but I'm happiest when I'm at peace and I don't gotta worry about stuff. And money can buy peace.
That's facts. I like how you worded that, bro. I haven't heard that, to be honest. He said can't buy happiness, but it can buy peace. And that's pretty close. That's
Yeah.
pretty close, man. You ain't lying, bro. You ain't lying, man. And I just want to thank you for coming on FY Fly and dropping these gems. And if you have any final words, bro, any final takeaways, go ahead and also let everybody know where they can reach you, man.
Man, so Instagram, J Monopoly, JAY.Monopoly. We have the podcast coming out soon, the J Monopoly Show. The J Monopoly Show is not going to be fully educational. I decided to go more of a Joe Rogan approach. I want to just interview some of the most interesting people on the planet. So I got some interviews with rappers, some artists, like real big business entrepreneurs, anybody who really
Yeah.
is making an impact. So, show is dropping soon. And honestly, the biggest takeaway that if anybody could listen to this and learn something is this. There's one thing I give people this advice all the time. If
Mm-hmm.
you're feeling lost, if you feel like you don't know the next step, right? You got to declutter and organize, right?
Okay.
And I physically mean declutter. Like whenever I feel stuck, I make sure everything's clean. I got no clutter. My brain's
Mm-hmm.
not cluttered. I sit down in silence. And, I don't know what you guys believe in, whether it's the universe, whether it's God, whether it's energy, whatever the case is. See, I'm a believer in God. I believe in God. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ.
Same here. Same here.
So I believe that, you have to, I believe we're always getting messages, but I believe that we're drowned out by the noise of everyday, day-to-day life, society, other people's opinions. If
Facts.
if all that had happened, but I was still outside, like I was back in Cali or back in New York, I probably wouldn't have been able to receive that message, brother.
Mm-hmm. Cause you would have been too cluttered. You'd have been too
Yeah.
cluttered.
Yes, sir.
No, man, this was great. Like I said, man, really thank you so much for coming on. And like I said, for everybody listening, take some of these small gems, and I promise you, we start implementing them in our daily habits. They will be large results over time. So all our listeners, stay safe, stay invested, and stay FY fly. We'll see y'all next week.